Just in case mayroon kayong plano magpagawa ng bahay or apartment or a commercial building, ano-ano nga ba yung mga kailangan yung tingnan o silipin doon sa proposal ng contractor nyo so that you can prepare the necessary budget bago magsimula yung project. Good day mga top nuts, Engineer Ruben Quintal Jr. here again. Welcome sa ating construction vlog. For this episode, we will talk about hidden cost in construction. Ano nga ba yung hidden cost sa construction? For you to better prepare, just in case mayroon kayong plano magpagawa ng bahay or apartment or a commercial building, ano-ano nga ba yung mga kailangan yung tingnan o silipin doon sa proposal ng contractor nyo so that you can prepare the necessary budget bago magsimula yung project. So ano nga ba yung hidden cost sa construction? Hidden cost, ito yung mga costs na hindi kasama doon sa proposal ng contractor. Usually, during the construction, after award ng contract doon sa contractor, nabibigla ngayon si client kasi, uy, may babayaran pa pala ako, uy, hindi pala to kasama. So, most of the time, it creates dispute sa contract, or sometimes naman, nagkakaroon ng financial constraints yung owner kasi hindi niya matapos yung project kasi hindi siya nakaprepare doon sa mga costs na hindi kasama doon sa contract na inaward niya sa contractor. But most of the time, hidden cost is not really hidden. Most of the time, mga excluded cost to na naka-specified naman dun sa proposal that it is included in the contract, although minsan hindi nababasa ng owner na nandun sa fine print na excluded pala. So ano ba ang reason ba't may mga excluded costs sa construction contract o sa construction proposal? Pag yung contractor, bakit hindi na lang buuin? Pag nag-quote siya ng project construction proposal, isamin na lahat para wala lang problema yung client. I can give 7 reasons bakit nagkakaroon ng hidden costs sa construction. The first reason, it is very obvious. The contractor wants to lower the overall cost of the proposal. Kasi nga, it will be a sales strategy. Kasi sa bidding ng project, hindi naman pataasan ng presyo. Kung ikaw yung owner, when you choose a contractor, ang hinahanap mo yung pinakamababa, hindi yung pinakamataas. One of the sales strategy ng mga contractor is ini-exclude nila yung ibang item para sila ang mukhang pinakamababa doon sa selection. Now, I see nothing wrong with this. Nagkakaroon ng malpractice dito kapag yung contractor nag-exclude siya ng item sa proposal, but then hindi niya ngayon in-specify o hindi niya ngayon na-explain sa client na tinanggal niya yun. So that is a malpractice na we don't recommend contractors doing that, and we don't recommend client to deal with contractors doing that. The second reason naman, yung mga contractors, they have different costing methodology. So iba-iba yung pag-focus nila, iba-ibang style, iba-ibang strategy. When I was doing construction, nung bago pa lang ako sa construction strategy, I thought yung mga contractors, they follow the same format pagdating sa pagko-costing ng project. But that is not true. Marami iba-ibang style, iba-ibang methods. For example, yung presentation ng general requirements and preliminaries doon sa costing ng mga contractor. Ano ba yung mga preliminaries and general requirements? For example, yung building permits, temporary facilities, this includes the temporary fence, temporary barracks, temporary storage sa site, workers, board in lodging, electricity and water consumption, at saka other environment, health, and safety requirements. May mga contractor na itong item nila, yung structural, yung tiles, nakaseparate siya, tapos itong preliminaries, nakaseparate din siya ng costing. Pagdating doon sa construction proposal, itemized construction proposal, makikita mo yung item na to, yung general requirements and preliminaries. But may mga contractor na itong item na to, hindi mo ito makikita sa proposal kasi nakapasok siya doon sa cost ng item. In short, doon sa item, meron na silang markup, supposedly, for these general requirements and preliminaries. Now, medyo hindi transparent to, but ang purpose kasi nito ng mga contractor, why they do that? For the ease of costing. Kasi mas madali lang naman, mas madali nga costingan kung itong mga preliminaries and general requirements will be treated as a percentage of the total project cost. So minsan, hindi mo makikita to, hindi na naka-itemize doon sa construction proposal, but they are factored in sa cost ng mga other scope of works. If this is the case, just to be sure, para wala kayong gray areas, and para ma-prevent yung dispute in the future, try to ask your contractor kung ano-ano ba yung mga kasama, verify kung hindi nyo nakikita yung mga item na to doon sa construction proposal niya. The third reasons, there is difficulty in assessing the cost of the item of work. Kaya hindi ngayon sinasali doon sa costing. One example of this is building permit again. Yung building permit, the cost of the building permit differs depending on the city the project is located in. So iba-iba, medyo malayo yung cost. Kapag medyo nandun ka sa province area, medyo mas mura. Kapag lumalapit ka dito sa urban area, medyo mahal. So may mga contractor, hindi nila kinokosto. Kasi kung kung hindi pa naman awarded sa yung project, there are times that it is impractical to do the research kasi it will take a lot of your resources. So the easiest way is exclude mo doon sa proposal mo. So may mga contractor, hindi nila sinasama yung building permit sa proposal nila because ayaw nila hulaan yung presyo. Most of the time, ang ginagawa ng contractor, isa nasama lang yung legwork, but lahat na babayaran doon sa City Hall, lahat ng fees, lahat na kung may mahihingi man doon, pang merenda, sa client yun. Pero may mga contractor din, kasama na sa costing nila because they already have experience applying permits on that city or on that location. Other items na medyo ayaw din hulaan ng mga contractor is yung subdivision fees, like gate pass, security fees, then maintenance fees. Iba-iba din kasi to. Kung nasa ang subdivision yung property mo, andun yung fees niya. So, medyo mahirap hulaan yung mga, kung iba-iba, medyo malalayo kasi yung costing ng mga subdivision fees. So, usually, tinatanggal ngayon yung ng contractor sa kanila, nilalagay lang nila by owner or by others. So, if that's the case, additional cost nyo. Then, isa pa, ang malaking item dito is yung construction bond. Kasi yung construction bond, napakalayo ng price nito. There are subdivision na ang cost ng construction bond is nasa 10,000 lang, 20,000. But there are subdivisions, I have encountered this kind of subdivisions. Ang construction bonds nila is nasa 2 million, 3 million, napakalaki. It's a significant amount. So most of the time, para safety, yung contractor, hindi nila sinasama yun. Baka magkamali sila, medyo mataas yung nakot nila, detalo sila, ay hindi na-award sa kanilang project. Kung mababa naman, mag-aabon na sila later. Okay. Although yung construction bond, most of the time is reimbursable after the completion of the project, but the cost of money na papatulugin mo doon, significant pa rin yan. Another thing is yung cost of electrical and water applications. Nagbe-vary din to depending on the location. So most of the time, ang kinukot lang ng mga contractor dito is yung legwork. Kung ano babayaran doon sa Maynilad or sa Meralco, on the account of the owner yun. Fourth reason is that the contractor do not have knowledge of the actual site conditions. O kaya, hindi siya nakapag-site visit before quoting the project. Or sometimes, it is impractical to conduct research para malaman mo yung actual site conditions, like asan ba yung mga existing drainage lines, saan ba yung mga tapping point ng mga kuryente. Sometimes, it will take a lot of resources para ma-identify mo yung mga yon. So, ang ginagawa ng contractor, they exclude that. Or they put some limitations doon sa quotations nila. One of the basic example dito is yung earthworks. So let's say, si contractor, hindi siya nag-site visit. Para ma-quote niya yung project, he will make an assumption na yung existing lot is level, so pantay. Ngayon, if you close the project on that, tapos pagdating doon sa actual site conditions, our actual site conditions is mayroon pa significant slope yung lote mo. Magkakaroon ngayon ng additional cost because due to additional earthworks. Another thing is yung tapping point ng electrical connection. Unless otherwise specified o napag-usapan during the construction, during the pre-construction phase or the pre-award phase, ang assumption ng contractor is yung electrical system niya is hanggang sa service entrance lang or along the property line ng project. After that area, hindi na kanya yon. Usually sa contractor na numeral ko yon, which will be paid by the owner. Another thing, isa pa is yung tapping point ng water line. Ang assumption lang ng contractor is supposedly kung magtatap siya ng tubig, andun lang sa may harapan ng project. Kung medyo malayo yung tapping point, that will also be additional cost. Likewise, for the plumbing tapping point o yung sanitary tapping point. Kung ang assumption ni contractor dyan is may drainage sa harapan ng project. Kung medyo malayo yung tapping point, walang existing drainage sa harapan ng project, the extra work going to that direction will be an additional cost to the account of the owner. Kasi sometimes, in this situation kasi, it can be argued that the contractor is at fault. Dapat, he did his due diligence bago siya nag-quote ng project. The problem, on the side of the contractor, he can also argue na it will be impractical to conduct necessary research kapag hindi pa awarded yung project. Kasi una-una, pupunta ka dun sa mga developers, kukuha ka ng copy ng plans, existing drainage plans, existing electrical plans. So sometimes, kung wala ka pa, hindi pa naman awarded yung project sa'yo, hindi ka entertain nun. Unless otherwise, ang kukuha nun si owner, tapos ibibigay sa contractor. The easiest ways to do it is ini-exclude yun sa contract. So, you have to take note of that kasi sometimes itong mga cost na to is significant. There are times na, especially yung mga subdivision na medyo kunti pa lang yung bahay, there are times na yung tapping point na kuryente is napakalayo. So, kasi wala pang existing na mga poste si Meralco. So, pag nagpalagay ng permanent connections, kailangan ngayon mag-widening ng mga 1-2 kilometro tapos maglalagay pa ng mga extra post, temporary post para magdadala ng wire. the cost is significant. You have to consider that in preparing yung budget kung sakaling ganun yung situation ng property niyo. The fifth reason bakit may mga excluded sa construction proposal ng mga contractor is there are things that can be installed later. So may mga item na pwede namang install later, matatapos ko naman yung project, I can complete this project even though these items are not here. One of the main example of this is cabinet. So the project can be significantly completed kahit wala yung cabinet. So there are contractors na ini-exclude nila to. Okay. Most commonly excluded then are the aircon. The SD type or the window type aircon, most of the time excluded dyan ng mga contractor. Unless otherwise, sinabi mo prior to quoting the project na include. But please take note, if the aircon is excluded in the contract, please make sure na included yung provisions for the aircon. Ano yung provision for the aircon? Ito yung wiring nila, yung wire para dun sa aircon at saka yung drainage line para sa aircon. Otherwise, kung natapos yung project, tapos walang provision sa aircon, disaster yun kasi magtititik-tik sila ng wiring, magtititik-tik sila ng drainage. Ang laking gastos pa. Ang laking cost pa ang kakainin nun. So make sure na yung mga provisions na yon kasama sa contract. Next reason is there are items that needs to be chosen by the owner first. For example, yung mga finishing materials like tiles, wall cladding, plumbing fixtures, electrical fixtures. Itong mga item na to, kailangan pang piliin ng client. And if you do this prior to the award of the project, it will take a lot of resources ng contractor na magpa-approve dito. Kasi ang approval ng mga materials na to, hindi one cycle lang na pag pinasa mo, yes, approve, hindi. Usually, pag nagpa-approve ka ng materials, ay, hindi ko gusto kung may ibang sample pa ba kayo, may ibang options pa ba kayo. So you will have to look for more options, papa-approve ka sa owner, tapos minsan na-approve, medyo mas taas naman yung cost. So medyo takes a lot of resources sa pagpapa-approve ng mga items na to. So sometimes, yung mga contractor, ini-exclude na lang nila para yung trabaho nun, later na lang gagawin kapag awarded na yung project. Although yung may mga ibang contractor, they find a way to work around this, still may marami pa rin contractor na ini-exclude yung mga finishing materials sa proposal nila. Last reason is may mga item talaga na excluded as per local standard practice ng mga local contractors. What are these items? These items are the movable furnitures and fixtures. For example, yung mga lahat na furniture dyan, fixtures na hindi naka-fix, expect them to be excluded. Although minsan makikita mo na sa plano yan, nandyan ngayon yung location ng rep, makikita mo yung location ng sala set, dining set, yung kama, but most of the time, those items are not included in the proposal of the contractor. So kung magpapagawa ka ng bahay, you have an upcoming project, you have to consider the cost of this. Kasi if you do not consider the cost of these movable furnitures and fixtures, pag natapos yung bahay, hindi mo rin siya matitiran. Imagine, wala kang salad set, wala kang dining set, wala kang beds. So, how would you utilize the project? So, these items need to be considered in the preparation of the project. Overall, in general, it's very difficult to review and compare the quotations from different contractors. Especially kung wala kang technical background like engineer or architects, medyo mahirap talaga. You have to read the fine prints carefully at saka you have to ask the right questions doon sa mga contractors. So you can have the feel kung magkano talaga yung budget na kailangan mong i-prepare before you start the project. If you have any questions or topics that you want us to discuss, please post them down below and we'll try to address them. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.